how have movies evolved within Indian cinema from the past to the present? There must be a reason why movies have changed. Indian cinema. It has been progressed over the years. It started off with film directors like Raj Kapoor. So you had directors like Satyajit Ray. He mostly made Bengali films, but I'm talking about generally in India. Then you had great directors like Ramesh Sippy sir. You had Subhash Ghai sir. Then it evolved to Karan Johar sir. And you could say that was the last bit from the past. Karan Johar sir was the director. After that, you had new generation directors like Rajkumar Hirani sir, Imtiaz Ali, Anurag Kashyap, Zoya Akhtar, Dibakar Banerjee, Anubhav Sinha. You have many directors like this, including even directors like who make predominantly commercial movies like Rohit Shetty. You have directors like Anees Bazmi. Anees Bazmi sir still made movies in you could say the early 2000s, late 90s, but still they are still in touch with the younger audience nowadays. These directors have either passed away or have stopped making movies, even including a director like Yash Chopra sir. Now you could say in the current day, Aditya Chopra sir is the one carrying the baton. But you could say him and Karan Johar sir are probably the transition through the past of Indian cinema to the current lot of directors of the Indian cinema. So we're going to see over the factors based on three things. Number one, they used to have much lower budget in the past. They used to have less advanced technology. For example, cameras, they had a specific amount of reels that they had to use, the films, instead of digital cameras that we have nowadays, which you can record and delete anytime you want, so you can have multiple takes. In the past, you didn't have that luxury. If it's recorded, it's recorded. If it's cut, the reel has been wasted, even if you don't use it. So budgetary issues, the less technology, so CGI is not a thing. Visual effects are barely existing, and you had a different kind of audience, the political climate, the whole generation thinking. And based on those factors, you had elements that the past used to focus on more versus what the current lot of directors focus on now. For example, writing. Writing is something that they focused on previously because they didn't have much technology or the budget to be able to showcase simple writing stories through the camera. They had very basic camera, so they had to have stories and characters that drove audience to the theaters. They had to have certain iconic characters like the angry young man or the amazing villains who have such beautiful dialogues written that it becomes memorable. They had to focus on that. They had no choice if they had to make a film work. Which is why you see even currently when movies are made in countries with much lower budgets and less technology, they focus predominantly on things like writing, as I said now, acting, which I'm going to go over, and music. These become the factors that make their films or series more cinematically appealing. Nowadays, that's different. So acting-wise, because you had no luxury to have multiple retakes, you had to focus on one take. So you have to be very, very prepared. You have to understand the scene inside out. You have to have a thorough understanding through the director what he wants and try to make sure you do everything in one cut. For example, Yash Chopra sir, if you know, he never liked retakes. He never liked retakes. He used to take one-take shots. So imagine a director of his caliber seeing actors that I only want one retakes. Forget the debutants, even the most professionals like experienced ones like Amitabh Bachchan sir would freeze at times and would take their time and do their best, which is why the acting and writing became the sole focus in the past. Music, they had original music, and they had music for multiple reasons. It wasn't just for entertainment, it was to tell the story forward. It moved the story forward. It somehow revealed thoughts of a character that they otherwise wouldn't when they would be having through a conversation or a dialogue. Sometimes instead of a monologue, the music is played while showcasing the character's thoughts as the person is just maybe walking through, say, the rain. That happened a lot in Raj Kapoor sir's films, Yash Chopra sir's films, and even Subhash Ghai sir's films to an extent, even Karan Johar sir's films. I'm talking this because of the timeline of directors. You can see they still held on to that. But nowadays, music is predominantly entertainment, a marketing tool to attract the audience. If a one song is a hit, the filmmakers nowadays think that is enough to attract the audience to the cinema or try to create reels. You have technology like the social media. Before, they didn't have that luxury. All they had was the radio or the cassettes. That's how they judged that if a music whole album was a blockbuster, the film would had a higher chance to work. These are the differences of factors that was a focus on in the past directors and in versus the current lot of directors. Then after acting, you had the budget-wise, as I said, the technology, and because in terms of technology, you can't have so many luxury sets, or your production cannot be as, even due to lower budget. What they did was found beautiful locations in real like places. Not even Europe. Europe came way afterwards towards Yash Chopra sir or Karan Johar sir. Raj Kapoor sir had a little bit, but most of his films were shot in states within India. The beauty of with the home country was explored to a high extent. The mountains, the beaches, the villages. Like, there's such iconic spots in India that have become tourist spots where Raj Kapoor sir has filmed his movies, or his assistants who became directors have filmed his movies. For example, Betab. There's a Betab Valley in Kashmir, very popular because Betab was Sunny Deol sir's debut film. It was directed by Rahul sir, who was assistant to Mr. Raj Kapoor sir. And he also wrote the biography book on Mr. Raj Kapoor sir. So as you know, the school of thought of having a very, very good location, which now became iconic. If you go to the current cinema, movies and films, you don't have those luxuries. Sometimes you don't even have locations that are used. It's all CGI. They film it in Film City, and they have the luxury of putting an Eiffel Tower in the background. You don't even have to go to Paris for that. It's I don't know if it's budget-wise or it's the convenience, because going abroad or going to a specific location takes time, takes a lot of effort to do that. So which is why people also focus on the location-wise in the past. Abroad travel came afterwards when budgets slightly increased. The audience itself has evolved. The stories have evolved, and the audience itself has evolved because audience used to wanted a slice of their life in movies. So the purpose of the directors that the movies were made in the past were, it always resonated with the audience because it was part of their life. It seemed like the character was from one of them, especially Raj Kapoor sir's films and Yash Chopra sir's films. It didn't seem like it was something out of the extraordinary. It was when Karan Johar sir introduced, and later on even Aditya Chopra sir introduced, where the characters were larger than life. They took a little bit of a humanness of the human traits of the audience, but they made it such larger than life that people wanted to aspire to be like that. Before, it was looking into films and watching and seeing, oh, this movie is based on my life, or this movie is similar to my conflicts that I'm going through, or problems, or the society issues, or the way they think, or even characters resonated with them. Slowly, within the past, it became where people wanted to see something to look forward to, look up to in the films, which is why later on the directors started doing that. In the current days, it's neither. It's purely a form of entertainment, just a more way of getting distracted, and that's it. Nowadays, people have so many other methods to get inspired by, to look forward to. I think movies have moved on from, in Indian cinema at least, have moved on from the fact that which gave a slice of their life, which make them aspire to be someone or something else, something better in life, to do something better in life with a purpose. Now it's purely mostly entertainment, to get a little bit of a thrill of what's going to happen next in the story. Or originality is what people are seeking, but the audience doesn't have that much of a desire to look up to or get inspired by. That is just my opinion that I've seen throughout the years within Indian cinema. That's it. Which is why larger than life movies, period movies like Bahubali, it's something you don't look forward to be like, and it's something you don't look forward to seeing like, this is part of my life. It's completely out of their life. It's nothing related to the audience. It's just a story being told on screen. Pure entertainment, pure thrill, pure that adrenaline rush you get when you're watching a film in cinema. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Before, movies were very inspiring, very aspiring. For example, I'll tell you a little anecdote on when Raj Kapoor sir was admitted in the hospital on his last few days of his life. So you had his other family members outside the hospital. I think it was AIMS in Delhi, New Delhi. And there was this one person waiting with a bouquet, completely like a fan, and he met, I think, Rishi Kapoor sir, his son, Raj Kapoor sir, or one of the family members, and said, can you please pass on these flowers to him and my best wishes to him? And he said, and then the family members asked, do you actually know Raj Kapoor sir personally? Because why did you travel all the way? The person who came had traveled all the way from different part of India. So the family member asked, why have you traveled so much? What is the reason for you to come and see Raj Kapoor? So do you know him personally? He said, no, I'm more than just a fan, because I've actually polished shoes, and I'm someone who polishes shoes for people for a living. It was a trend back then in India as well. And Raj Kapoor sir made a film called Boot Polish. He said he's the only one who put respect to the name of my job, my profession. So that means, for me, that means a lot. So as a person, someone who polishes shoes was not something people looked up to, or it was just a way of living for them, like so no option but to do that, or in order to earn bread. But because of Raj Kapoor sir's films Boot Polish, the person felt so respected that he came all the way to see Raj Kapoor sir and give him best wishes. So that is one little story I want to say. That was the idea of films in Indian cinema previously. People not only got inspired, but they got aspired. They felt like it was their story being told. People love that. Nowadays, you don't have any of those. I don't think any of these anecdotes would come alive in the present day with the directors that you see now, for example. Sure, you connect to the films in Imtiaz Ali's films, like The Youth, Ayan Mukherjee's Wake Up Sid and Ye Jawani Hai Diwani have done so well as well. Zoya Akhtar has also made films that connect with the family members, the characters, the upper middle class mostly. Then you have Dibakar Banerjee sir, you have cult characters like Kausa Ghosla. That is literally the way they speak, the way the story is told is exactly how people in the middle class families talk like, and he's done that a lot. So you have those certain movies that people connect to, but it's not as not to an extent as it used to be. That is how I think the cinema in Indian cinema has evolved with the directors as you see now, right from Raj Kapoor sir to current directors, even to an extent to Sandeep Reddy Vanga right now. That's probably the most modern director you could see. So this is a timeline of Indian cinema that I want to go over. Just quickly on wrap it up. It's basically the constraints they had in the past was technology and budget, which is why they focus more on the writing, acting, music, picking a location, and also the audience understanding changed throughout. So that's how the movies evolved. But these are audience is always going to be a key factor in evolving cinema. But I think the writing, acting, and the music and the location itself played a key role because of budget and technology constraints. And nowadays it's completely been changed so much as we've all gone over the video. So that's it from today's video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please do press the like button, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel and smash that bell icon as hard as you can so you can get instantly notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks guys, cheers, bye bye.